Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Hannah and I like to ramble on about books. New backdrop for today since I have my new bookcases up, so I figured a couple different filming locations now that my room is mostly done. My renovation video is coming. There's still some finishing touches we have to do, but hopefully, I want to say next month, it should be up. No promises, but that's my hopes. But anyway, today's video I'm going to be doing the Bookish Elements tag. I was tagged by Megsy. Thank you so much for tagging me. It's like 8 questions long, so let's just dive on into it. First question is, how do you feel about foreshadowing or dropped hints? Overall, I say I like them, especially mainly when they're well done. I really like it if I don't initially pick up on it, and then once something's revealed, I'm like reminded of something that was mentioned before. When it's done a little too obvious, then I'm not the biggest fan of it. But I guess it depends on what kind of reader you are too, on how well you pick up on those kinds of things. So overall I do like it, but if it's too much of like more of an info dump than just like foreshadowing, it really depends. Question number 2 is going to be bookmarks. What do you use? How do you feel about bending the corner down? I'm not a fan of dog earing. I really don't like it because then that page is gonna have crease in it pretty much forever. So not a huge fan of that. I use a ton of bookmarks. I have probably a bookmark problem, but the thing is, you know, if you go to Barnes, they're right there at checkout. My Barnes & Noble is not very close, so if I have to place an online order and I'm like a couple bucks away from free shipping, bookmark's the easiest thing to add on. I have some like crafty ones. We'll just do like a mini bookmark tour. Like I have this one. It used to have a tassel on it, but I have cats and they're kind of assholes sometimes, so tassel's missing on this one. I do need to just buy a pack of replacement tassels to keep replacing when that happens. But this one's just a really cool resin one I got from an Etsy shop a while ago. I just recently got this one from Barnes to get to free shipping. So my husband, for whatever your anniversary is, the leather anniversary, got me this bookmark that says "Too Many More Chapters Together," and that has our initials and our anniversary date on it. I have "A Dragon Without Its Rider is a Tragedy," and "A Rider Without Its Dragon is Dead," so a Fourth Wing bookmark. I have another leather style bookmark that has my name on it and it's just a flower. Someone gifted me that, I don't remember who. I have "I Read Past My Bedtime" bookmark with a little cute fox. Has part of a tassel intact, but anyways, my friend got me this Lore Olympus, Hades and Persephone bookmark, and it has a little quote from that series on the back as well, which I am obsessed with that series. I literally just got this one yesterday when I went to Barnes. It's just like a sun and moon. It says "Live by the sun, love by the moon." This was from Barnes & Noble, so tassel's still intact on that one. I drink good coffee, read good books. Surprisingly, I've had this one a while and this one still survived. Now that they're higher up on a shelf, they stand more of a chance when it comes to tassels. My friend is a little artsy, so sometimes she'll just get on a drawing kick. So she's made a couple bookmarks for me. So this was a Nightmare Before Christmas one she made. Super cute. And then a little Stay Spooky one. These ones are just on like cardstock, so they're a little beat up because I've had them for a while, but I'm hanging on to those until they're like disintegrating. And then I have this Wild About Reading card, again with a little fox, partially intact tassel. And then like crafty ones, I've done all these little cross stitch ones. These ones didn't have a backing, so I just kind of glued some felt onto. I have another kit of cross stitch ones that are like spooky cats, and those ones actually have a backing, so that's kind of nice, but I do still really like these because they're adorable and I spent a long time on them, so those ones are nice. Probably Smut, when they send out their book club books, they send out an annotation guide, but they are also bookmarks. So if I like them, I usually save them. So these are the few that I've saved from there. And then another set of crafty bookmarks are Paint with Diamonds bookmarks. Got 3 of these. 2 miraculously have their tassels. 1 again is missing. So cats won against that one as well. But that's pretty much it for all the bookmarks I have in my collection. But it is an ever-growing collection for sure. So question number 3 is forgotten bookmarks. Have you ever found something strange in a book? And honestly, not really. I feel like the most common thing I find in a book that someone lent me or gave to me is just like a receipt that they're using as a bookmark. And that's the craziest thing I've ever found. So nothing really super interesting there, unfortunately. Question number 4 is inscriptions and annotations. How do you feel about writing in a book? How do you annotate if you do? So I'm relatively new to annotating. I never used to do it. For a while, I was completely against marking up a book at all. Now, it depends on the book for me. If it is a book that's probably going to be a 4 or 5 star, something I love or I'm obsessed with, I'm most likely going to annotate parts of it. But the parts that I annotate, I just highlight and tab. So the tabs are just to mark where I've highlighted, so it's easy to find that section again. But I just highlight quotes that seem meaningful or deep or impactful in some way to me. I don't really write in the margins or anything. I don't do anything else crazy. That might change down the road because, again, I used to never touch my books. Obviously, if it's someone else's book, someone lent a book to me, or library book, those I don't mark up at all. If I want to annotate a book, it's going to be my own copy. I'm not going to deface someone else's or a public library copy, so no. Question number 5 is introductions and footnotes. Do you read them or avoid them? I feel like introductions I tend to skip unless it's a actual prologue. I don't usually read it. Same with the acknowledgements at the end of the book. I don't really read acknowledgements either. That's something I've never done. I've always skipped them. When it comes to footnotes, I usually do read the footnotes though, because in the books I haven't read a ton of books with footnotes, but the ones I have read that have them, that's usually impactful to the story in a way or to help you better understand something. So if they're there, I always read them. But again, I don't have a ton of books that do have footnotes in them. Question number 6 is accessories. Do you use bookish accessories like a clip-on reading light, book sleeve, annotation materials, bookstand, etc.? I love bookish accessories. I use a ton of them. First up, clip-on reading light. I don't read it in bed a ton, except for on my Kindle, but occasionally if I want to read my physical book, this does come in handy because I don't like having my lamp on, especially if my husband's already asleep. This is super nice. This one's rechargeable too, which I love. When it comes to reading my Kindle at night, I have the little bendable arm thing that you can attach to your bed frame, so I have that and the little page turner. Super helpful, so I can be like all snuggled up and not have to constantly poke my arm out to turn the page. Book sleeves, I do love. I'm pretty sure every single book sleeve I have, which is only like 3, I want to say, were gifted to me, but I do really like them. They're handy for taking your book around. So this one I have, the one I'm currently using has like a pocket in the front too, so that one's nice because you can put your Kindle in there, or if you do annotating, you can put your annotation supplies in there too, so that's nice as well. I also like just my Kindle in general. I feel like stickers, bookish stickers, that's also a bookish accessory. And my pop socket too, that's a must for my Kindle. I have the magnetic kind too, so I can pop it off and it's easy to put on that little holder I have. Annotation materials, I pretty much just, again, probably Smut will send a bunch of tabs to go with those annotation guides they send, so I save those for books I do annotate, and I just use highlighters, so nothing fancy there. My friend gave me a set, I don't have it with me, but a set of their highlighters, but they're like a waxy kind of pen, and I'm not sure how I feel about them. I haven't used them in my books yet. I've kind of just tested them on paper. If you guys have used those and you like them, let me know, because I'm a little hesitant about using those since they're kind of waxy. But that's pretty much, I don't have any book stands unless you count the little Kindle arm thing. I'm thinking it's talking about like those little cushion things that you can have in your lap with all your snacks and stuff. I don't have anything like that. If you guys recommend them, let me know. If there's any other bookish things that you guys swear by, absolutely let me know, because I'd love to know about them. Question number 7, art and illustrations. How do cover art and illustrations affect your reading experience? I'm not gonna lie, I am absolutely a judge a book by their cover person. So if it's got a pretty cover, I'm gonna be interested. So cover art 100% influences if I'm going to read that book or not. If someone tells me the book is great and the cover's not great, obviously I'm still gonna read it. I'm not gonna not read a book because the cover's not pretty, but I'm more gravitated to pretty books. That's just how it is. Illustrations, if a book has it, that's fantastic. I love it. I'm not one of those people that can really picture stuff in their mind, which is very unfortunate as a reader. So when there's like character art and little images in the book, that's very helpful for me. And when it comes to graphic novels like Lore Olympus, fantastic, stunning artwork, and that's part of the story too. So absolutely 100% really bumps up my reading experience if those things are present. And then the last question is format. Which format of books do you prefer? Hardback, paperback, audio, or digital? I read all of those forms. So I read hardbacks, paperbacks, I listen to audiobooks and digital ebooks on my Kindle. My favorite one is paperback. I like the look of hardbacks. They're just so rigid. I hate holding them and reading them. So they're beautiful, but when it actually comes to reading them, not great. Paperbacks, especially a really good floppy paperback, is the best media for reading books. I liked being able to flip through the pages, so it's great. I do love my Kindle, super convenient, especially for bedtime because I don't have to worry about a book light and all that stuff. You can have so many books on your Kindle. It's great. And I love audio because then that kind of brings the book a little more to life as long as you have really good narrators too. But there's just something about reading a paperback book that is the best, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Then there's like a part 2 to this question. Do you do different things for different situations? And yes, I usually do. I have a KU subscription, so Kindle Unlimited. If there's a book I want to read and I don't own it yet, if it's on KU, I'm going to read it there first. If I like it enough where I feel I need to own a physical copy, then I will buy the copy. So that's kind of like a rule I have just to hopefully cut down on my book buying. Keywords hopefully. I try not to do audiobooks for books I own physically. I've already purchased that media of the book. I'm not going to purchase that other media book. The exception is going to be for rereads. So if it's a book I've read and I loved it and I want to reread it, I'll usually do the audio version instead just to get a different type of experience. And also, that also opens up the possibility to do the immersive reading too, where you're listening to the audiobook and you have the physical in front of you and you're kind of reading along as the story is being told to you. I really want to do that for my Throne of Glass reread because my first reread on that was just an audio listen. Now I have the physical, so I do want to do an immersive and annotate those. So yeah, I think for situational things, there are certain situations for which format I'm going to pick, but I'm human, so I bend those rules a lot and don't always follow that, but that's generally how I feel about that. And that's pretty much everything for this book tag. I would love to see your answers, so if you want to drop them in the comments, or if you guys want to make your own video, make sure to tag me so I can see it. I'd love to that. Make sure you give this a like and subscribe. Got a couple videos planned for the next few weeks, and I really hope that I can get you guys this reading room renovation video soon. I'm gonna try my best. But anyway, that's all for now. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.